Hey everybody, it's Liz with Liz Art Finds. We're here today with another haul video, and it's a fun one. They're all fun these days, right? I found some good stuff. In fact, I found so much stuff yesterday that I'm going to save some of it for next week. But yeah, there's some stuff I think you'll be really excited to see. And then some, some things that were a little bit of a miss. But, hey, you win some, you lose some. Let's look at what's sold. Only a couple things this week, but a really nice one. Over on eBay, I sold this beautiful home guard vase, and it was tall. And I got the nicest message back from the gentleman who received it. I had found this for $6.79. I think I found this on my drive to North Carolina last year. And anyway, it sold for $50. I had it listed at $65. I took a best offer of $50. My profit was $29.79. It would have been a little bit more, but I decided to double box it and ended up spending a little bit more on shipping than I had planned. But the person who received it was so excited, wrote me the nicest note ever, and I'm glad this got to a new home. The gentleman is starting a collection of this type of bottle and has a whole shelf cleared out and is just so excited. The other thing that's sold is not so exciting. You guys remember I found a bunch of these sheet lifter things, 24 cents a package. I got a zillion. I've been selling them in sets of 3. I had 2 different sales this week of those. One person bought 3 sets, one person bought 1 set. On the 3 sets, my profit was $8.18. On the 1 set, profit is less because of there's a shipping issue. When you have something super light, eBay doesn't like you to send it regular mail. You have to send a tracked service, and it's set for when they buy it for regular postage, because if you set it for the tracked service, nobody wants to buy a $6 item and pay $4, $5, $6 to ship it. So when somebody just buys 1 set, my profit margin is really slim because I eat some of the shipping. So my profit on that was $2.68. My total profit on all of the ones I sold was $10.86. So combined with the close to $30, we're basically right at $40 profit for the week. Something. I do have another little side hustle, and this past week was did very well on that side. So, it all evens out in the end. Anywho, I have a show tonight on Niknax.net. I don't know if I'm going to broadcast it here over on YouTube. It probably is only going to be on Niknax. So come on over, 7:30 tonight. I will have the description and the link in the description below. Words are not working today. Okay, let's get into the haul because there's so much stuff and I really want to show you guys the things. So the first night I went out was on the 29th, and I went to 2 places after work, and I'm going to show you the fun one first. I had hoped to have the key by today so I could show you this in action if in fact it works, which I don't know. It is a tin toy. It is a tin toy duck on a drum, and he's got this little whirly hat thing. And I know on the one where he rides a bike, the hat actually spins. The one that I saw online with the duck, like with the drum, he just marches. And I don't know, I mean, he has the ability to swirl, so maybe he does spin. Maybe he is supposed to spin. We'll see. My goal is to have the key. So basically there's somebody online that's selling the little keys that fit in the little locks. Like it's right here, it's a little square key, and you just put that in and wind it. If this is windable and not broken. If it is broken, I got to take it apart. It's got little tabs. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's like little tabs there that you would just pop up and take it apart and see if I can figure out what's going on in there. But fingers crossed, once I have the key, he will work. The key should have been here yesterday. It was not, so I will have it on Monday, and we'll test him and I'll report back next week. So I paid $1.99 for Mr. Tin Toy Duck. And other than the fact that he's missing his key, he's not missing anything else that I can tell. These dated from the mid-century, like from the middle of the last century. And they were very popular. There were all kinds of different tin toys, and if you Google like tin toy videos, there's a lot of people out there that collect and that have little videos of how they're supposed to work, and they're really fun. So he was just too colorful, too cool to just leave there, and we'll see what happens. So the ones that sold missing their key are selling around 10. Once they have their key, there was one that sold for 30 with the key and the box, and then one sold with the key without the box for 40. So, you know, I'd probably try to list him around 25 if he has, if I get the key and if the key works, that's what I would do. If I have to sell it without it working, it'll probably be closer to 10. But I paid $1.99 for him, and he's just a fun guy to have around here. So anyway, I just wanted to share him with you. He's a little noisy. Okay, so more on that next week for sure. I found a little Talavera trinket box. This one is newer. And I say that just because of the color of the painting and I was going to say the sparkles. He doesn't have a lot of sparkles, but he just looks newer. He's in like perfect condition. I don't see a signature anywhere on it. I thought I did, but I don't. And it's redware, and it glows like crazy. So the paint that they use, on the flowers, this is you can see it really well there. This is the UV light. So the green and the orange, I guess it's kind of a yellow orange. That one kind of glows the best. And then the red down here all glow really well, and that will help with the resale. I paid $1.99 for it. They'll sell 8 to 12 pretty consistently on those. And then the other one that was just a super surprise. Now I have all kinds of things like this, but not this artist. So it's always fun when you find something and you're like, oh, you know, that's really cool. I'm going to take that because the price was like $1.99. And then you get it home and it's really hard to see, but there's a signature on here. And it's a very specific signature. And I thought it said Sue Pham, S-U-F-A-M. Apparently it says Suzanne. She signs with a big S in the center. The artist, her name is Susan Brown Freeman, and she did a lot of meticulous work like this. She is probably in her 80s now, and she's almost impossible to find online, or she's impossible to find online. There's a lot of her work listed and a couple mentions of her. There was a gallery that represented her, and they had one photo of her in their archives. And then there was a chat, like some sort of a Reddit thread about her where people were asking, like, has anybody heard of her? Where is she now? That kind of thing. So she was in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to just put this down so I can just show you the signature, because this is actually the signature. And it's one you want to remember. It's S-U, small s, small u script with this really funky designed S in the center and then A-N on the other side. Okay. It's very distinctive, and her stuff is worth money. So there she is. This is obviously a long time ago, and she's meticulously carving one of the pieces. Okay. Now, the only information I can find on her is she studied pottery making at Austin College in Sherman, Texas. And then she studied with Charles Counts at the Rising Fawn Pottery of Georgia. And then it says after that she pursued an apprenticeship with him to support his studio production, and then she went out on her own. Her pots are characterized by extremely thin walls and detailed carving. Okay, so this is a very thin, so it's very lightweight. You can see the walls are thin compared with other votives that we've seen. She's retired now. Her husband passed in 2006 at age 65. I did find that obituary. So if she was around that age in 2006, she'd probably be in her 80s now. So I would say she's in her 80s now and retired, but her pots are commanding good money. So the votives, they're kind of all over the place. I paid $1.99, and I'm seeing solds in the 35 to 100 plus range. many in the 40 to 65 range. So I think I would probably list it around 65 and come down with offers if there were any. It's in perfect condition. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. It was fun to learn about a new artist. I did not know Susan Brown Freeman. And again, it's a very specific signature. And you can look her up online because a lot of the listings do have photos of the bottom, obviously. And that S, you know, sometimes it's a little more ornate than others in the center there. But it's the small s, small u, then a big stylized S in the middle, and then AN. And that is Susan Brown Freeman from Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, so that was probably one of my more exciting finds. More to just, like, I was going to pick it up at $1.99 anyway, but then to find out that it had even more value than usual was really cool. So that was a fun one. All right, then the other two things I picked up were at a different spot that night. I had seen this a couple times and I left it a couple times. And this time I went in and I'm like, oh, it's still there. Let me do a search on it. So this is a recycled glass vase. It's potentially vintage. It's also potentially contemporary. The company's been in business since 1985. The company is called, I didn't even write it down. Vidrios, it should be right on here. It is Vidrios, Vidrios San Miguel. So it's right in the center. It says by Vidrios San Miguel, handmade in Spain, authentic 100% recycled glass. When they started their company, they decided they were only going to use post-consumer recycled glass, and their website says they've been able to basically do that since 1985 when they started, which is really cool. This is, you know, it's a little free form. It's really fun. It's kind of an organic form. And I think, you know, those people that are really into recycle and the environment and whatnot, it's a great selling point for this piece. So I picked it up. And I paid $3.99. They don't sell super high, which is why I left it a couple times. The sold are in the 10 to 30 range, depending, it seems like depending on the color. Hard to tell. There are a lot that did sell different shapes. I mean, no two are alike because they're kind of this organic, freeform kind of style. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. It is a little bit big. Thankfully, it's sturdy, so it shouldn't be that hard to ship. And we'll see. I mean, this is one I would probably put on eBay just because it's big. Smaller pieces do better over on Niknax. Bigger pieces, for me anyway, do better over on eBay. Although I keep trying, and we'll see. You know, sometimes I have really amazing things that happen during my live sales. Anywho, one more thing this night. The pig. Now, I think this may be Russian. There are no markings to indicate anything. It looks a lot like the Giselle, I'm not saying it right, the G-H-E-Z-L, or G-Z, I don't know. But I've had pieces by them, and when you do a Google lens search, a lot of that is what's coming up in description. Not 100% though. He could come from, or she, those eyelashes, could come from anywhere. I paid 99 cents for it. I believe this to be a $15 to $18 figurine. Just makes you smile looking at it, right? So I think I've told you guys I want to do an All Creatures Great and Small show to share some of all, like, the animals. But I just found out that Niknax is doing a zoo show later in August, the 23rd, 24th, I think, where everybody that gets on the train will pick one animal and sell that animal, which I have enough birds to do that. So I will do birds if I can get on that train. But I don't want to do my All Creatures Great and Small show around the same time, where I had been thinking about doing that at the end of the month. So that will probably hold off till later in the year, maybe September. But I do still plan to do that at some point. Anywho, Mr. Piggy over there will be in the All Creatures Great and Small show when I decide to get that thing listed or scheduled and get things listed. All right, the next thing that happened this weekend was I bid on an auction, and I had a good win and an oops. And the oops is because I didn't notice that something was broken and I paid way too much. I paid top of what should have been paid if it wasn't broken, meaning that I would have made $20 or $30 on it, but that's it. So this is a Heren, like a pottery, no, potpourri, that's the word, a potpourri bowl. So it's got all these vents, okay? It's really cool. I mean, the colors are beautiful. It is signed Heren, Hungary, hand painted. It's numbered, right? It's number, I don't know, 6213-C. I thought it was going to be out of 1,000, but that's not possible. So I'm not really sure what the numbering is. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to focus. It's an absolutely beautiful piece. Unfortunately, when they took the pictures, they took them from the side like this, and it hid the fact that this piece, there should be kind of a parallel, see how there's a stem here? There should be one here as well, and instead you have a stub. And I only noticed it because it broke off sharp. And if I go back and look at the auction photos, it's broken in the photos. I just didn't see it. So I did write the auction house. Thankfully, I've got a good relationship with the gentleman who runs the auction house. And we'll see what he says. I don't know if I'll be able to return it and get money back or credit, or if I'm stuck with it because I did sign something that says that, you know, there's no returns or exchanges and everything is as it is. And it's kind of my bad for not noticing that in the listing or in the photos. Okay, so I paid $46 for this because the ones I was seeing listed were in the 90s, and actually I think I saw it sold at 99. When I just did a worth point search today, the solds are more like 69, 74, 79, but that 99 I believe was on eBay. So 65 to 100 would be the solds if it was not broken. Now, on the positive side, there was a broken one that broke pretty much in the exact same place that sold, and it sold for $34. So if I do have to keep it, I might still be able to get some of my money back out. And the good news is the other stuff that I bought will more than cover it no matter what happens. So I bought a lot of little mini pitchers, and there are 7 of them. And they're like the little bud vase pitchers, and a lot of the different glass companies, they're all Crackle glass, and a lot of the different companies were making these mid-century. So you've got companies like Kanawha and Rainbow and Pilgrim, and I think even Blanco were doing this type of thing. I do not have all of the attributions on all of these 7 pieces yet. I am not listing them in my glass show tonight because I just don't have all the information yet. So when I have all the information, I will sell them. But until then, we're just going to look at the pretty vases. They're all kind of awesome. So this one is red. Now this is basically a rainbow. We're going to go through in rainbow order because why not? So the red one here, I paid $25 for the lot. So it comes out to $3.57 each. Okay, so this guy, they sell 12 to 18. He's possibly Kanawha. I'm not 100% on these guys. Like I said, I've got to ask some vintage glass groups and see if I can pin down which is which company. But it has the clear applied handle. And then the next one I'm going to show you is similar but different, right? It's Crackle glass. It's red, but the handle is the same color as the actual piece. So that was a different manufacturer. This may be Pilgrim, it may not be. It is ruby Crackle glass. The value on this one is not as high. This is more of an 8 to 12, at least from what I've seen, just from my initial looking. The third one is gorgeous. It's Amberina, so it's that ombre effect from the yellow to the orange, which is so cool. And then the Crackle glass effect, and it's got an applied handle. And I believe this to be Rainbow Glass Company. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think from the one listing that I did see that was the exact same piece. 12 to 15 on this one, I think, maybe a little more. The next one, look at the color on this. It's kind of this limey green. This one, now that I'm touching it, seems like it's got a break here, like the back of the handle broke off. So that is going to detract from the value. If someone is just using it for decor, for a line of colored glass, it probably won't make a ton of difference. But if someone is a purist, this one is broken. I paid $3.57. Obviously, I was going to call it 12 to 18, but because of that break, we'll go 8 to 12, maybe even 6 to 12 on that. You just have to find the right buyer for that piece. There's also an interesting issue with the glass. It's not like it's a manufacturing defect or something. There's like an indent here, kind of almost inverse of the handle. I don't know if you can see that. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's a great color. Absolutely love the color on it. Don't know about resale value on it. This one, look at the color on that. It's kind of this tealy, bluish, greenish, bluish color. And this one, you know, I'm hesitant to say, but someone did have one listed of this, or at least that looked like this, that said Blanco. I don't know. I really don't know. What's interesting is the way the handles are applied across all of these pieces are different. So they're definitely different companies, but I don't know yet enough about this. But this color is amazing, so I think it is a $15 to $18 piece. The next one, again, very different. You can see this handle is all ribbed. I don't have much information on this one. In fact, the listeds on these just say MCM glass mini pitcher. The solds, again, 15 to 18 on this. Might go a little less. It's just hard to tell. But I mean, the application of that handle is fantastic. Like, look at how that is just attached with no seam, no schmutz around the outside. It's really cool, and it's a fun ribbed handle. So that one's a little bit different. And then this last one is also ribbed and has a similar attachment. And this one seems to be Pilgrim glass. It's a optic. Now, I did see cranberry rather than the amethyst. I think this one's more purple. It's the swirl optic, I believe, is the style on this. And again, it would be a 15 to 18. And it's got that really cool application on the handle. So maybe that does tell us that the last one was Pilgrim as well. So really fun assortment. Unfortunately, I can't pick them all up together so you can see how amazing these colors are together. Let's see, can I try? I'm not going to try because I don't want to break them, but they're just really beautiful. So I was pretty happy with that. I paid, like I said, $3.57 each, so 25 total, and I didn't add them all up, but let's say 20, 44, and 45. So whatever that is, 44 and 45 is 90, 89, and about 20. So just over 100 and something. So 4X at least on those, and I know those will sell. Those are exactly the kind of things that people are looking to buy, you know, quickly in a live sale. So anyway, that was my auction experience. And then when I went to the auction house, there's some thrift stores way down in that neck of the woods that I hardly ever go to, and I popped into a couple of those. One of them I didn't really find anything. And then the other one, it's called Be Thrifty, B-E-E, like a bumblebee. And that's so hit or miss. I think last time the only thing I found there was a purse. This time I found a few things. So let's go through all the things. I have no idea what order, so I'm just going to grab things. And this is another one that I could have left, but I just thought it was so cute. It's a tennis nut. Get it? Nut. So it's this artist, his name was Dale Warren, and he was one of a few of the artists that were doing similar type things back mid-century, well, 70s, 80s, 90s-ish time frame. So it says Dale here. It's kind of stamped. It's outlined, so it's kind of hard to see, but it does say Dale back there. So this is Dale Warren. And he used like nails, like the railroad nails for a lot of his sculptures. And he's got sculptures on all kinds of things like golf and fishing and just any sport and whatever. These were very, very popular back in the day. I've shown you guys the sand flea ones out of Florida. I find those a lot. This is the first time I've found Dale Warren. Not worth a ton. I paid $2.99. They're worth $8 to $28 plus. So the least expensive one I saw that sold was $8, and some of them were significantly more. So yeah, I don't know, because I don't see this exact one, but I would probably list him in the 20, no, probably not. I'd probably list him around 18, maybe 20. I don't know. I'd have to think on him a little bit more, but he's in really good condition. I mean, he's got some patina, natural patina, but he's very cute, and I just thought he was worth picking up. All right, then I found this alabaster trinket box. It was heavy, but it's in really, really, really good condition. Like really good condition. Okay, and these are made in Italy. It's actually got a sticker on it that says genuine alabaster made by hand in Italy. That is the translation there. And these do pretty well. So the exact ones are around 25, and I paid $4.99 for this piece. And it's, you know, it's like I said, really excellent condition. So that was a fun little pickup. And then I found another Starbucks mug. Now this one, ooh, still has a price on it. They write in pen, which is terrible, like in a grease pen on it. So I don't know that I can get this off. So I'm just going to put my hand over it. But it was, what did I pay? $5.99 for the Starbucks Minnesota mug. Okay. And it's a really nice one, right? And it's part of the Starbucks, Been There series. And these guys sell quick. So 20 to 28 without the box, 32 plus with the box. I don't have a box, but 20 to 28 on this guy, and I paid $5.99 for that. So we'll try to get that up. I need to spend a day just listing mugs because I have a lot of them. Then I found a paperweight. This is Caithness, Scotland. I overpaid for it significantly. I thought it was half price. It was not. By the time I figured it out, he'd already rung it up. So it's Caithness. The style on this is called Misty. So it says Caithness, Misty, Scotland. It's got an interesting scallop kind of around the base. And then inside it's got a lavender wave and a white wave. It's kind of hard to see in here, but they kind of swirl around each other. I paid retail. I paid $12.99, and these basically sell 12 to 18. So there was actually, you know, I looked it up on WorthPoint, and this most recent solds, there was a 15, a 20, and a 23. So maybe it's a little bit more than what I think. I'm just used to the ones that I've sold before. Okay, then I found another crystal piece. This is Crystal Dark. So this company is based in France. I know this because I've seen the exact same thing with stickers on it online. Don't sell for a ton. I paid $3.99 for it. One just sold for $26. However, most of the solds are in the 8 to 12 range, which I think is more reasonable for this guy. I would start him probably at 8 at an auction and see what happened. Maybe start him at 12. We'd have to see. Whatever mood I was in that day. So then, wait, Did I not put it in? Oh, this is the next place. Okay. Then the next thing I found was a baggie, and I should have left it in the store. I was very, very excited about this. It was a cute little, like a perfume type bottle, and it still has its label on it. It says that it's made in Israel. It is very thin glass with that matte kind of finish, and I just thought the color was really interesting. I don't see a lot of yellow in glass out there, so I really wanted to grab this. The whole entire baggie was $2.39, so it's not terrible. This piece itself is probably worth 8 to 12, so it's not terrible. The other piece that was in there was this, and it's a little cast iron turtle soap dish, which is great. However, there are some paint chips and rust. It is cast iron, it's very heavy, but it has been worn. I haven't cleaned this one yet, so I'll have to see what I can do, and if I can repaint or like clean up the rust and all of that, and see if I can fix it and disclose that I've fixed it, or I don't know, I may not sell him. And then there was another little bottle that to me doesn't really have much value. The soap dish, if it were in good condition, they sell 8 to 12. All right, so that's that. Then I went to one more place. I went to Unique on my way west, and this is what I thought I found at the last place. You know how last week we were talking about that little fish, I think it was last week, with the cut fish thing, and I'm like, well, it's not a Matsionison, yada yada yada. Okay, look, this is Matsionison, and it's signed. Oh my gosh, y'all can't see it. It's signed on here, and it says Matsionison, Sweden, and then it has a number 3363. So this is a panda. It's got the label and the signature. Panda with the bamboo. It's awesome. It's in excellent, excellent condition. I did pay up. I paid $7.19 for it. The current solds are 24 to 25. Some older ones, like 10 years ago, were in the 12 to 18 range, but the two most recent were 24 and 25. So I think 18 to 24 is a good number for that. And again, I paid $7.19, but it was really exciting to find a Matsionison in the wild. Then I found a menorah. It's, so this is for Hanukkah, the festival of lights that happens the same time as Christmas. I do find a bunch of these, and I tend to pick them up when I find them. This is bronze. I did some research online. It's bronze, not brass. It seems older to me. It's cruder somehow. The metal is kind of, you can see in production they had some issues with it. You know, there's kind of pieces of metal near the seams that didn't get filed properly. It was full of wax. I spent some time last night cleaning. I don't have any idea of value. I think it's probably on the lower side, in the 20s. I paid only $1.99 for it, so it was worth it to me. There's no markings on the bottom. There's no markings on the top. There's just no way I can tell when this was made, where this was made. I'll probably post it in an online group and see if anybody has any thoughts. The interesting thing to me is typically, more recently, there's one candle that's typically higher than the rest of them. It's usually like another piece of metal or something that extends it above, because they use that to light the other candles. Because there's 8 days of Hanukkah, 8 days of the holiday, and then there's the shamash, which is the candle that's used to light the other candles. And that usually sits higher. It's usually either in the center or on one end. This is all identical. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's older. So I don't know. And there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I was going to explain to you that if you see these with 9 candles, that is a Hanukkah menorah. They make them with 7 candles, and those are for every day. So just kind of a little thing, like if you see one out in the wild that's got 7 candles, it's more of an everyday candelabra, and if you see one with the 9 candles, that is more of, you know, for that 1 week celebration in December for Hanukkah. So that's that. I found this on a cart, which was fun. It is, I had this exact same one before, so I think it was Anchor Hawking. At least I think I have the exact same one. I got to take some pictures of it and see if it's the exact same one. But I paid $1.99 for it. The last one I had sold for $6. So we'll call it 6 to 12. It sold in an auction where that was my starting bid, and that was the only bid that I had. But there were some exciting things. This is outside my wheelhouse, but this is a Yadro, and it's in like perfect condition. Okay, and it's called like birthday dog or dog's birthday or something like that. It's a girl holding a cake. All her fingers are intact. The dog's ears are intact. I spent a lot of time going over this, making sure everything is good. So it is Yadro. I paid, let me see, I think it's on the next page. I paid $6.39 for it. In the past month alone, okay, there were 6. It might have, I stopped after I found 6, so there might have even been more sold over on WorthPoint. 45, 46, 29, 35, 50, 36. The average is just over $40, and I paid $6.39. So that is a good pickup. As soon as I get it listed, it should sell pretty darn quickly. So I'll try to get that up in the next week or so. And we'll see if we can get that gone. And then, this was a fun one. I found this vase. This is Italian. The technique is called scavo, S-C-A-V-O. And it's meant to mimic the old look of when something was dug up out of the dirt. Okay, I don't know how they do it, but I know that these vases have value. There was one of these exact ones where the color was a little darker on the bottom, or they just used different photography to make it look darker. And that one sold for somewhere between 50 and 100. It just listed the range. It didn't say how much. I got this for less than $3.19. There is a sold, or there are some solds in the 42 to 65 range. So I think that's a reasonable value on this guy. Some bigger scavo pieces sell for more. And I do have another one that I found a while back that I didn't know that's what it was. So I got to get some more info on that as well. But really fun find, and it didn't have a sticker, and so they told me to scan it in at the $3.99 thing, and I had a coupon, so it came out to $3.19. So that was good, really good value for the piece. And was that all? Oh, I found a bird. This one is in my glass show tonight. It is a beautiful clear bird. It has a beautiful clear bottom. It also has sticker residue here for a small round sticker. I have no idea if it's Murano. I have no idea if it's Swedish or Czech. But the quality of the glass is very good, and it's got no breaks. It's just a beautiful little bird. I paid $3.19 for him. He's probably worth 8 to 15, maybe a little more. Because he's clear, the value of the bird figurines, I think 8 to 15 is a reasonable true number. And I think that's it, except for this really weird thing that I should have left in the store. So this was mismatched. It was this stopper and this vase. Now I knew it was mismatched. I was curious about this. I thought it was cool. It was different. It is Anchor Hawking. It is an oil or vinegar cruet, but without the stopper, I have no idea if it's got any value, because every single one that's sold right now had the stopper. They typically sell in pairs, and in some cases, the pair of the 2 oil and vinegar with the salt and pepper. And this was just a single lonely thing sitting on the shelf. I paid $2.39 for the set. This is probably worth 8 to 12 with the stopper, so 4 to 6 maybe, I don't know. It is gold leaf though, so I don't know. Someone may have broken theirs maybe and is looking to replace just the one without the stopper. So we'll see. And then the stopper. Unfortunately, it's not in great condition, but it's one of those gemstone globe type things. In good condition, it would sell around $5. I may just keep this because I need these stoppers for various things in my kitchen. And I don't know if I have enough, so I don't know. I may keep that. I may lot it with some other stoppers that I've found over the past year. So probably not the best pickup on that bottle. Let me just check my notes. Okay, that was it. I think that's everything. We're already at 40 minutes. That is a long video. All right, so thanks everybody. Let's talk about totals. I spent, if you count the broken Herend piece, I spent $142.19. If you do count that, the value is about $465, which would be like 3.3x. If they take that back, which I'm hoping they will, my total spend was $96.19, and the value would be $430, and that would be 4.5x, which is much closer to what I'm hoping to get. So that's that. It was a fun week. I'm excited about a few of the pieces. I'm really excited about the Susan Brown Freeman piece, and I'm really excited to get the key for the tin toy and see what happens. And I am excited about the Scavo vase, and then the little pictures. Like, it was a good week. I had fun. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully you guys will join me tonight over on niknax.net at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be live for at least 30 minutes. It could go as long as an hour. Just depends how many people are there and engaged and how things go. All right. Thanks. I will see you guys next week with another haul video, and maybe we'll even do some other little videos in between. I'm not sure I'll get to it this week, but sometime this month we're going to try to do some other stuff. All right, have a great one, everybody. See you soon. Bye.